So it's
11:07.
11:07, and I'm calling this meeting to order. Al Miller is the chairman. He's on vacation, so I'll be running the meeting. Maybe we could just kind of introduce ourselves and first say which organizations we're with. I'm Maggie McIntyre with the Darien Historical Society.
I'm Lisa Shanahan with the Darien Historical Society.
I'm Libby Stoll with Barrett Bookstore.
Susan Cater, the Darien Chamber of Commerce.
Kate Larson with the Historical Society.
Caroline Lopez with Darien Library.
Jamie Gore, I'm Parks and Recreation and the Secretary.
Do we have to tell her to do something? To turn on the TV or?
Oh, she should just.
When you
just
call
say
her,
she
call
should-
her.
okay,
Okay.
yeah, she should. So, well, welcome, everyone. We don't have a quorum at this point, but what we would have done was introduce Libby and Caroline and vote them into the subcommittee. And Libby is going to be our treasurer, and Caroline's going to be our liaison with the Darien Library. So we'll introduce you at the next meeting when we have a quorum. Vote you in, okay? Yeah. And we can't approve the minutes at this point, and we'll do that next time, so that'll be tabled as well. Next on the agenda was finances, and Libby.
Well, I could just
Yeah,
give
do
you.
wanna- thank you.
Maggie and I met with Jennifer Tarnotsky last week, and we talked about sort of preliminary process of the finances. And basically, everything goes through the town. We submit the invoices, and they pay the checks. I'll be, seeing all that stuff and keeping a tally of it, and recording all the checks and the donations that come in and go out. So that's basically how that works. And then, as in terms of money coming in, there's the $5,000 from the town that's ready to be used. Anything else that comes in has to be appropriated by the RTM, and they don't meet till September. So we can't use anything really until September.
Right.
So we have the $5,000 available right now.
And we can accept another 10, right? Is that it, up until?
Yes.
Right. up
Well,
until the
yes, they
RTM.
can appropriate, that's true. up
Can we
till $10,000.
use any of the 5,000 before
Yes,
September?
yes.
Oh, we
The
can.
$5,000 from the town is available to use.
Okay.
And we've
So-
already earmarked for the first postcard and also
Yeah, I saw that, like-
reimburse Sarah Kina. So, and I
Right.
guess we have to do a purchase order process or
I
something with the
guess
town,
so.
but
Check
I'll
with Lester. Yeah, we can go
should
through
ask her
that.
about that.
Is there a special kind of a receipt or invoice that the town uses versus any other organization?
Well, I have check request forms that they gave me, so.
Okay, so for
Yeah.
Taylor, for total printing,
Mm-hmm.
they would need a purchase, they need to give you an invoice and you give them a
The
purchase
check
order?
request, I have a check request form, and I would fill that out with their vendor number and everything else and
Okay.
submit it.
Okay,
Okay?
Okay,
And then the town would cut the check and send it to them.
yeah.
So the process, if somebody were to make a donation,
Mhm.
just, someone wants to make a
Right.
$2,000 donation, they advise us they want to make a donation, then the RTM has to approve it?
No,
Or
they
what's
send the
the-
donations to the town.
Yes.
There's, Town of Darien, and then on the memo is 2020 committee.
Got it.
And then-
I didn't understand the appropriation.
Oh, that's
bit.
for, once the town has all the money, they've
Uh-huh.
collected
And
$1,500
we
here.
want
Yeah.
reimbursement or
Right,
payment.
exactly.
Got it. Okay, thanks for the
And I think when the
clarification.
time comes, what we need to do is sort of give them an idea of how much our expenses,
Right.
we'd be better to highball the expenses so they can appropriate it all
Right.
at once.
To
And then-
So that's
yeah.
why we're
have a,
building budgets.
Comprehensive budget.
Instead of having to go back, it's
Mhm.
better to
Yeah.
kind of do it that way.
Okay. Okay, anything else on finances? And now, next on the agenda is the events. So we have dates and locations firmed up. We're not firming up yet the times, so we're just kind of saying in the evening or in the afternoon, because there's more to consider in terms of budgeting.
Thanks.
We're learning, for the police and everything like that. So we're just holding off on giving firm times. So we have the opening ceremony set for Friday, January 10th, sometime in the evening. And this also has, everything has except for the exhibit opening, has a snow date or a rain date, and for anniversary day, those are firm. But the first event will be the Bicentennial opening ceremony on Friday, January 10th at Town Hall here in the auditorium, which is a great, perfect venue, right, for it. And then next we have the Historical Society's exhibit opening, Darien 1820, on Friday, March 20th. I did get in touch also with Mather House, or Mather Homestead, to see if they can have any dates for their special bicentennial, but with the building of the barn at this point, I guess they need more time to figure out, you know, what's going to be going on. But as soon as they do have firm dates, they'll be included into this formal list. Weed Beach Festival's Bicentennial Bash is going to be Saturday, June 6th. Anniversary Day ceremony, Friday, June 12th, sometime in the early evening. That's going to be at Thaddeus Bell's gravesite
So that's a much
ceremony.
better date for that in March.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Right, June 12th, at Slauson Cemetery on Hanson Road. And then a Heritage Day celebration, Saturday, June 13th. Darien Historical Society, and at this point we have other locations because we're hoping the Congregational Church might, you know, we might have a reenactment there, and also that Mather House is going to be involved as well. So, yeah, so, and this is the information that is going on that first postcard mailing, and Sarah Woodbury is working with a graphic designer who's come on board in a volunteer capacity for now to lay it out.
Great.
So it should be coming up soon.
And the Bicentennial Bash, is that a daytime? What's the hours for that? It's the same as usual for the...
So generally, we'd be somewhere around 12 to 7. But that can definitely fluctuate, as I was saying to Maggie. I didn't want to put any restraints on it depending on what we decided to add to the event specific for 2020. So we can absolutely start earlier, go later, whatever is we decide to direction to go.
What, are you thinking it should say something like everything
No,
else?
no, I'm
has
just
like
putting
an
it in my
evening?
calendar.
Oh, I see, okay.
It's just
All
late
right.
date.
The whole day.
The
whole
Because
day.
Yeah.
Now,
we would
we
also
be-
have Sunday as a rain date for that event as well.
Right.
the
Will we
7th.
be discussing each individual event and different elements about that at another day? Or is the committee going to be
Yeah, so there's
discussing that? Is there a separate committee?
Yes, so there's a group that is meeting, Karen and Carl Bocadero. Karen is actually in charge of like the Heritage Day celebration, and we're also looking for someone to head up the anniversary day and the bicentennial opening ceremony. And we've just had a couple preliminary discussions, but we're going to be going into more depth about the planning for each. But for now, Karen Bocadero is on the board of the 5th Connecticut Regiment, and they've reserved the day. So there's going to be an encampment, kind of, a reenactors on that day. They're not going to know specifically, you know, if there's going to be a whitesmith or a tinsmith, but she's anticipating pretty good participation from the regiment on that day.
Fine.
So, yeah.
I just, if I can, I'll email her directly, but you might want to think if there are a lot of locations,
Mhm.
Atria and residents at Selleck's Woods might offer their vans to transport people
Oh.
back and forth.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Wow, that
that's
would be
cool.
great. Because I did
And they
plan
love
for-
being part of the community, and I think that that would be a great
would
way
be
for
great.
them. And their logo would be going back,
Yeah.
back and forth, back and forth.
Right. Well, actually, I was thinking because I've put that into as a budget item to the anniversary day ceremony because it's in a small cemetery and residential area, and also for the Heritage Day celebration. So, would you like to reach out to them and see if?
Sure, I can
That
ask
would
them.
be great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So you want me to ask them for both days?
Yeah.
June 12th and June 13th?
Well, and June 13th, and the rain date for June 13th is the following Saturday. I believe it's June 20th. And the anniversary day, we do not have we're going to have
No
have a
rain date.
tent on that because that's the day, the actual anniversary of when the charter was approved on that day.
Okay.
So, thank you. Thanks for reaching out to them. That would be wonderful. Great way to get them involved.
And so our deadline for decorating downstairs is January 10th.
Okay.
Don't you think? I mean,
Yeah.
assuming that that's...
Right,
Mhm.
right.
So we have to just find out when it's open and available, like if it's available before the holidays, that might be better.
Yeah.
This is the meeting for the bicentennial.
Oh, it's Tracy? Oh, yeah, hi. How are you? Sorry. Good. I don't think we have a quorum at this point, so we're just kind of informally, meeting. Oh, nice. Nice. Do we have one now? I don't think we do. No, okay.
Now, when I should I send them a letter, like an official letter with the anniversary logo on it? Or should I just call them? What would you prefer?
I think maybe at this point, just to call them sort of informally,
Okay.
because the sponsorship, people who are involved in sponsorship are getting together letters to
Okay.
send for, to different businesses in town. But as soon as they're ready, then maybe we could like switch
Okay.
over, but at this point, if it could be kind of informal. Okay, did you want to talk about the case at all at this
There
point?
really isn't a lot to say about it. I mean,
I think-
we have to find out when we can get in, because I know they typically book for some time in advance, so when whatever is in December is coming out, and then we just have to work our schedule
Right,
around.
right.
And then I guess we just have to raid your closet.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I was thinking we could talk to Ken and find
Yeah.
out, if
Right.
there's things that he, and we might not know for sure until much closer to when we're filling the cabinet, because then he'll have a better sense of what he's gonna use in
Mhm.
March or not. I don't know how long we have the cabinet.
Yeah, how long do we have?
You know,
I don't know.
if it's.
I think it's a month.
If it's a month or more than that. So, some of those things, but I think that.
Oh, the Historical Society has it in March, right? Is that it? I think we do.
Didn't
I'll
we-
check on the.
We had it in March, but then it rolled back to January, wasn't that?
I
thought
think
we
the
did have it-
2020 subcommittee has it in January,
Okay,
and
and then
the
the
Historical
Historical
Society has it in March. Yeah.
Oh, so we might be taking stuff out, someone else is coming in
Yeah.
February, and then.
Yeah. I wonder if we can switch that so that we're just.
Well, if you're gonna do an opening ceremony on January 10th, it
Right.
would be great to get in there ahead of time, so that it's just another way of advertising to anyone who comes into town hall that something is happening on January 10th. So personally, I think it would be better to get it in before the holidays.
Mm.
But I don't know what,
Yeah.
what their schedule is.
I can put you in touch with the woman who.
Who manages that, do you remember?
It's somebody through Monuments and Ceremonies. Dave knows.
Yeah,
And I've been in touch with her. I just can't remember,
Okay.
but I have it.
If
so-
you have her contact information,
Yeah.
you could send it to.
Yeah, and I think
Lisa
there's
and me.
actually, the town has the actual original town charter too, and so I was gonna,
I think I had that in my notes.
yeah, that would be really neat to have on display.
I mean, a lot of it depends on how it presents, because just a flat charter
Yeah.
might not jazz people up
Right,
to
right.
show up for something. I think
Yeah.
people are used to things that pop a little bit.
Right,
So,
right.
so we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But
Well, thank you
we're
for
open
doing
to
that
all
project.
ideas.
Yeah, exactly,
That's really
because
neat.
I'm not
For-
a decorator.
Yeah.
January 10th, the bicentennial opening ceremony, you want to do the cabinet, but what else is going to be part of that opening ceremony?
That's what we don't know yet. So if there's going to be a keynote speaker, I know that probably Jamie is going to say a few words, maybe Ken, but we haven't gotten that far yet in terms of like
You know, if
deciding.
you could get some of the singing groups at the schools to
Oh.
come in, and maybe there's a Connecticut song, they could
Right.
sing tunes from 1820. That, I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
that's a
out of the
great idea.
box, but you know what, when you get the
Yeah.
kids in, then
Yeah.
the people come.
Right, that's true, that's a great idea.
And
Songs
their
from
friends will
1820.
come, and then the word spreads,
Mhm.
and you get more involvement
Right.
than to just have an event. So, and it would be more of a show.
Right. Well, why don't I ask Sarah Kina if she could reach out to the high school singing groups to see if they can.
You know, there's the
Something.
middle school has a great group. That
Mhm.
you got the tutor singers.
Right.
You know, they really are all amazing. They're
Right.
so talented.
That's a great idea. And it makes it more festive too, I think, having a opening and closing.
Yeah, I
or
mean,
kind of-
why couldn't you have some people from the Darien band come as like a fife and drum?
Right.
Do a marching band, yeah.
The community band?
Right.
Yeah.
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 Could they play an American song?
Do they have a fife and, so I know that Karen Bocadero was gonna, we were gonna have a fife and drum at the graveside ceremony. But does the high school band have its own kind of fife and drum?
No, I don't
No.
think so, but you could, I mean,
Yeah.
you get the fifes
Make it-
and you get the drums and
Yeah.
you got a fife and drum.
Right.
Flautist played the pipes and.
Yeah, I could ask Karen about that too, to see.
Or,
if she
maybe
might
there's
be-
something that was very common in 1820 that would be a little bit more
Right,
fun.
yeah, no, I like that, I love that
Like
idea.
a snare and a flute.
Yeah.
Maggie,
Okay.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
Do you have someone or a couple point people for each of those events?
So far, we have Karen Bocadero, who's in charge of the Heritage Day, but I'm still needing somebody to head up Anniversary Day and the Bicentennial opening
Okay.
ceremony. And so we've been sort of just meeting just to discuss, ideas, but we haven't really firm anything
I think
up
the
yet.
big thing for the schools would be getting in touch with the music director, because they would have to start to practice
Mhm.
right when, like if they're gonna commit to do it, they'd have to start to practice, because we've tried to use the jazz band for the wine tasting in October,
Mhm.
and they haven't wanted to do it because they weren't, a meshed group yet.
Oh, okay.
So that's just, what I found in the past.
Right. Okay, I'll ask Sarah definitely to reach out. That's a great idea, thanks.
I'm wondering if the Monuments and Ceremonies Commission would want to take responsibility for either the opening ceremony or the anniversary day, as a commission.
Right.
They might want to position themselves. I could see that working nicely maybe for the opening ceremony.
Sure, okay. Why don't I'll
Yeah,
talk to
that'd be
Dave
great
about that.
exposure for them too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll ask
I
Dave.
haven't spoken to them.
Yeah, right, I'll reach out to him and ask. I was thinking also the woman who came from the DAR, because the DAR is going to unveil their plaque too, but yeah, that's a great idea, I'll ask Dave, thank you. Okay, so anything else on events? Maybe fun. So logo and education. Sarah Woodbury and I met with Linda O'Leary on the webpage. We have actually a webpage now. It's but it's not built up yet. So, but it's about to be. It's going to be soon. So it's going to be darien.ct.gov/2020, and it's going to have the logo on there and this information about the different events and the members of the subcommittee, formal members, and contact information. I forget. Oh, and our mission. The mission statement's going to go up there as a link. And so that's moving along nicely. And I think Sarah Woodbury was also going to reach out to someone she knows about the social media side of things, because that should be a coordinated, when the website is up, we should have a press release and also have those social media platforms up and ready. So we'll be working on that. And then I think that's, oh, and education. Sarah told me that where is it? She gave me her update that she's continuing to work with the students on merchandising options, pricing things out, including hats, t-shirts, lapel pins, reusable grocery bags. She's waiting for information on flags. And in terms of the education, she's working with her education group and devising a list of participation by grades. And teachers are going to get a reminder and an outline in September. And she says to reiterate that education is planning for the school years in 2020, which spans 2 academic school years and or terms, and they're going to be given a whole bunch of information in the fall when they get back to school. So that was Sarah's report. And then, do you want to talk about the direct
Sure.
mail?
Sure, I think, I just brought copies of what I prepared for the Google Docs file. So, which is a final sort of a summary, you can all take one, and I printed out the, my printer didn't give me 8 copies, I made 8 copies, didn't give me 8 copies, so maybe everybody can just share, but you can see the total at the bottom is $9,783, here if you wanna, pass that around. But, that doesn't include the savings if we use the DH. I think it's always better to be, budget high, and come in low. So that doesn't include using your permit stamp for the DHS and getting the savings. And it also includes $1,500 for creative. So if this person gives it to us for free, then
Yeah.
we'll come in way under budget. But the first mailing will be the most expensive because it's the, no, I'm sorry, the first mailing will be less expensive. It's the second mailing that's more expensive because that's the trifold.
Okay.
And, we just have to reserve the date. So if we're gonna drop it September 7th, we have to reserve the date with the EDADM program by 30 days in advance. So that's August 7th.
Okay.
We have to get we're under a tight
Right.
timeline now.
Right, okay.
We've got to get the creative, we need a designer.
Mhm.
We need to meet with that designer and decide what dates we're gonna secure and, get the printing ready to go
Why do you have to meet with a designer?
to design the card.
Oh, okay, well, I think she's got the logo and the all the information.
Terrific.
So
That's
I'm
great.
hoping that she'll turn that around. So August 7th is our.
I didn't know if you wanted me involved in the design or not, I just really don't know, and I wasn't
Yeah.
able to go to the last meeting. So that's great,
Yeah.
if the card's gonna get designed, we just,
And
need
I mean,
to-
she might have a couple options for us to look
We
at.
need to have space for the, address and the permit
Right.
thing on it, and
Right.
I trust she knows that.
Yeah.
And then we just have to get it to Total and have them, package it according to delivery for the,
Right.
to get
So
it to
when
the
do
post
you need
office.
the actual PDF of the card in order to have this? Would it be August 7th?
I can reserve, I think the key thing is what are the drop dates? Then I can reserve the dates for the EDDM. I don't know how I'm gonna get an authorization, like any kind of special stuff, because you do it online
Mhm.
for the check reimbursement. I
Right.
guess I could pay for it personally and then get
Get
reimbursed.
reimbursed.
Jamie, what's the best? How do you do it for the Park and Rec?
For the mailing,
Yeah,
I'd have to find out. I honestly don't know. I don't pay the bill for it. I just make it.
you just
Um,
do,
I
you
can
just
certainly try to.
But I can
Maybe-
find I work with the
I'll
gentleman
reach
who
out.
does, so I can easily
Maybe you
find
could
out.
ask him.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
easily.
So-
So
Also
typically,
reach-
there's like a purchase order process where
Right,
they
I
tell you
can-
how much it's going to be in a document, and that's then how invoices are tracked and paid is through a purchase order.
Does it
Yeah,
have to
why
say
don't you-
purchase order at the
Yeah,
top,
why
or it
don't
can
you
say bill, or?
Connect.
It's
If I do
it's
it, I
like
connect
it's
and
its
I'll-
own
I'll-
system that we do the
Yeah.
purchase orders through. It's not like we're just
Right, I have a name here I can
creating.
contact.
It's not a document. It's a whole system that
Oh,
generates
okay,
it.
all right.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right, so
check.
we'll
Yeah,
talk
we'll-
separately. Okay, so not to take up the committee's time.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just need to kind of look at a calendar, Tuesday and Wednesday are the two best days. We cannot, if we're gonna do the entire delivery, capability of our dairy and postal, service, right now, or when I looked into this, with every carrier route, there were 8,376 deliveries
Mhm.
in Darien. So they can only do 5,000 in one day. So
Okay.
you have to divide it up into 2 days.
Okay.
Tuesday and Wednesday are the best days.
In September, we're talking about September.
And we wanted it to go into mailboxes after Labor Day.
Right.
So,
So like the 16th, Tuesday, so like the 17th and 18th of September, if we shoot for that.
if that's what you'd like to do.
I think, does that make sense to everybody? I mean, should I look at the school calendar? Is there anything?
Well, the only thing would be, I don't think there's really anything going on with the school. I think we would want to avoid the Jewish holidays.
Right.
Because, people could be away, there's no school.
Right.
They might not be paying attention to their mail.
Right, well, Rosh Hashanah is on the 29th, and then Yom Kippur is October 8th. So I think the 17th and 18th are
Mhm.
looking pretty good. And if there's something that changes on that, we have to go to the following week.
I'll see if maybe I can even reserve them, after we get through sidewalk sales next week, I can go into the system and see if I can reserve them even farther in advance, not the
Okay.
just exact 30 days.
That's right. So if you have like a PDF of the postcard or a couple options, like within the next couple weeks, are we good for the
Oh,
timing of
yeah.
that?
I mean,
Okay.
I know the dimensions.
Okay.
All I need are the dimensions to reserve the space.
Oh, great.
I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure that we have the creative going. I didn't know that it was that far along.
Okay, yeah.
So that's great.
Okay.
So the production, the design of it is getting done. I can tell total printing when we're gonna need it. We're gonna decide on the dates, and I think that's great.
That's great, okay, that's wonderful. And I guess we would just need to have like a similar timeline for the next, the trifold, and you need to be 30 days in advance of doing
Yes.
that? Okay.
So
it's
the
really a
key
couple
thing,
months in advance.
the trifold is really important.
Right, I
And-
agree. Yeah.
And, so because of the Christmas holiday, if you want that to go out right after the New Year, which
Mhm.
we had discussed,
Right.
then, you have to reserve the space in December,
Uh-huh.
and you gotta get it printed and ready to go. So I would suggest that if we can, if you have enough to put on the card and everything that's gonna happen, is start the design of that card as far in advance as you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
Because it'll be
Okay.
here before we know it.
right.
And we don't want to get caught up in the winter break or the President's Weekend, so I think getting into that mailbox, the first week in January is
Well,
really
especially
key.
if we have an event on
Event on the
January
10th,
10th,
yeah, we
you
would
don't
need
wanna
it.
have
Oh,
it go
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
and
So
have it
maybe even
arrive
that
the day.
That
Yeah.
January 10th date should be listed on the postcard that goes out in September.
It is,
Mhm.
it is, and it's also gonna be listed in your.
It'll be in our
it's-
brochures.
Yeah, yeah. So this is basically going to be listed on the postcard, all of these dates.
Yeah.
And then the logo on the
And we
front.
know how last minute everybody is.
I know.
So
So I'm
actually,
thinking like
I
September
think that
we
you
need
have a
to
lot of
nail it.
buildup. I think like getting that trifold out, and maybe there's a big burst up in the corner, opening event, January 10th.
Mhm.
Yeah,
In bright yellow or whatever color that you can.
right.
Up in the corner.
So I'm realizing that we have to get moving on the actual planning of all these events, like ASAP. Like to have it ready by
Yeah,
September.
I know,
right? Like,
I know.
yeah, okay, all right.
So, I'm just looking at the calendar here. January 1st is Wednesday. So if we still go with the same thought, that Tuesday, Wednesday is the right day to drop, we would want to drop on the 7th and the 8th.
That's so, soon for do we want it the 7th and the 8th if we have something going
On the
in,
10th.
like on the 10th?
Yeah.
Well, you could drop.
How long does the
um,
mailing take? Because I know from the bookstore, the mailing takes a lot longer than we think.
Yeah, it can take 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can take 10 days from when you hand it to them and
Mhm.
you get it in your mailbox.
That's my experience.
Well, I
And-
was told, I don't know, I'm just going with what I'm told, is that you plan it to be dropped those 2 days.
Right.
Maybe it's this EDDM,
Right.
that's, the whole town gets more priority than, like, a regular bulk
Possibly,
mail
you're right, yeah,
is
that's
where
what
they
That's
I
a
have.
really good question,
Um,
there's a guy who directs this program in Hartford, and I'm gonna call him on that.
Okay.
I'll ask him. So,
That's another
you know,
question I can ask our assistant director,
Yeah.
because it was a major issue in the past, and we
Yeah.
reorganize, we send it to a different post office hub than we used to, so that it gets to the
Yeah,
residents
that's true. It
faster.
has
Well, see,
depend
you're
on
not
where it
using the
goes.
EDDM program either.
Oh.
So, remember, the EDDM is different, and it's delivered at our local post office.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
So we
maybe
could actually move it up and have it dropped,
In
December
December.
30th, and December 1st is Wednesday. There's no mail that day, so we could
December
go.
1st, you mean January 1st?
January, I'm sorry. January 2nd, we could go for a Thursday, I think
Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, Friday, but I think we're still gonna get,
People are gonna be gone
We'll still be
then,
away.
Yeah, that week. will be
because
on.
they're gonna have that whole week. My guess
Yeah,
is the
I would
schools
do
don't
it,
go
yeah.
back, because they're not gonna go back
Yeah.
on the 2nd. Would they go back for a day?
I wouldn't
I-
think
You
so.
know,
well,
I mean,
Thursday,
I can
Friday.
look it up.
What's
I
your
don't know the
schedule?
date for your fall.
I would think-
Has that been,
I'd
We
be
should
surprised if
look,
they do
yeah,
go up that
usually
Friday.
if
Wednesday
Yeah.
throws everybody off.
I mean.
Like, when do I need to know for?
Yeah, because like, I mean, even though these actually aren't set in stone yet, they're set in stone when you send out your, I'm wondering if we should change the
first date.
The 10th?
to the 17th, to the following
It's
week,
just a
just to
little
give
close.
us like.
We have a
week now,
couple
isn't
more
it?
weeks.
You have a couple more weeks?
I technically
You know, it's
have
probably
to
not a
have
bad
it to the
idea.
mailer
Yeah.
by August 2nd.
Yeah, okay, I feel
Because
like.
people,
I
if they
had
go
the
away
feeling-
and
I-
they
I-
have
the
mounds
thought
of
and then-
mail
And then if it did come the 7th and the 8th, that is.
they're back
you know,
in school on the 2nd.
They are really?
They
Wow.
do go back for a day.
Yeah,
And they're off
The
the
219,
Wonder how many people
20
go.
district calendar, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
all right.
The
I'll-
17th
Yeah,
is
that's
a
the 20th is
vacation day,
MLK.
Oh, that's right,
Oh, is
no,
that
that's
Martin
right.
Luther King?
That's right, wait,
professional
hold on.
development day,
Oh.
and
MLK.
so it's Martin
Yeah,
Luther
Martin
King is
weekend.
the
Yeah,
20th.
Yeah, we can't do that.
I think you gotta use the 10th.
Yeah.
And you know what, it's actually kind of a dead weekend, people don't really have a lot planned.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's act, the attendance is good, it's just a matter of
I
getting
think the
people there.
10th is good, you're just gonna have to do your best to have the
Yeah.
framework
Well, if
done
we
and
can-
the details
I
are
think
gonna fall in.
as long as it's, I just think that the 7th and the 8th for the 10th event is too
Yeah,
too
that's
soon.
too
close.
So if it could be maybe
The week
Thursday and
before.
Friday or something.
Or-
Or even the work
Or
before.
30/31.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We still get mail.
yeah.
Isn't that?
yeah.
You just want people to open it.
Yeah.
You know, if they're away,
Yeah, you don't want them going to their box and just
Oh,
throwing it as
yeah.
garbage. So like if it actually like if it got there,
A week in advance at least would be better than a couple days, so.
You know,
like
I-
the
Second or third.
Second or third,
I don't, from my experience, I think the 7th and 8th would be okay. Because you're relaying information that's, you know, for the entire celebration. What's going to be the most effective is the social media campaign that's going to get the word out.
Mhm.
And you just have to blast, 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 and promote and, you know, and boost as much as you can, and get the word out, the local newspaper, maybe the local news.
Right. Can I just ask one, so why Tuesday and Wednesday? Like the open rate is better than.
It's that there's not as much mail, so you stand out more.
So
You know,
we
you
would
get
have
the
to-
circulars on Thursday, you get, you know, the paper goes out on
Oh.
Thursday, you're just a little bit more distinguishable.
Okay, maybe we should bring this up, like we should discuss it when and like
Mhm.
actually vote on those, like the dates and with the full.
But you're gonna find out if we can get a guarantee on the drop.
Yeah.
date.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, that sounds
Because
good.
that could make a big difference
Yeah.
if we drop it on the 7th and it doesn't make it into the mailbox.
Right.
We would have done all this chatting and it wouldn't
Yeah,
have.
right. Okay, so why don't we table that?
It's a lot of
and,
work,
like,
Susan. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot for doing
Yeah,
all
it's
of
a
this.
lot, oh my gosh.
Oh, thanks,
It's a
I
lot of
I
research.
didn't find it that bad.
So the birthday bash, but I guess you just got finished with your festival, so that.
Yeah, we had a brief meeting, the other day at the Historical Society prior to the actual Weed Beach Fest, just to chat about some ideas and stuff, and I think we feel good about the name now, and, we talked about a couple of things that we did this year that I think we could tie in for next year that ended up being a lot of fun. I was working with Sarah Woodbury for the foundation, and they originally partnered with us because it was the 10th anniversary of the playground that they funded for us. So we did kind of like a birthday theme for that, and we had our cooking instructor come in and do birthday cake decorating, and it was beyond popular. It was sold out within seconds, and we weren't selling it or anything. She did all of it just to advertise her program. And then we like brought the kids up and sang happy birthday, and we were just thinking we could like do that on like steroids for 2020,
Yeah.
and it'd be a really fun way to get the kids involved. And
Yeah,
we thought
that's
maybe we
true.
could have like a big cake for the stage, maybe like Palmer's would sponsor it, and just kind
Yeah,
of
that's
tie
a
all
good
that in.
idea.
So we just talked about some fun
You
ideas.
could have a cake competition with
a cakewalk.
all our, you know, all our businesses locally.
All the caterers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invite them.
You know,
Yeah.
Sono,
Yeah.
Michael Joseph's, all,
And those
anybody who
people
wants to
already
go.
do our dessert war in February, so
Mm.
it'd be an easy tie-in.
But you know, also there's, I sent it to Al, there's a float that you can get. It's a giant birthday cake.
Oh, wow, that's
And it's
awesome.
not terribly expensive
That's cool.
That's for the parade.
for the parade, but you know, you could use that at the
That's
birthday
fun.
bash.
Absolutely.
As long as somebody's not popping out and ruining it.
In a bikini.
Fully clothed,
So,
So yeah, we don't have a lot obviously planned for that. More than anything too, I think once we actually have some subcommittee meetings, it'll be fun to kind of see what other, outside of our actual event, that people want to do. But I thought that was something we could easily go ahead and plan, and it was very well received this year, so.
that's great.
And
It's a
then,
great day.
And you have beautiful weather.
yeah, that helps. Yeah, that hasn't been the case in the past.
What was your attendance this year over last year?
So last year we were around 1,200, and this year we were closer to 1,500.
Wow,
that's
that's
great.
good.
So, which we were surprised we got so many people last year with the questionable
Mm-hmm.
weather. But we've shown a steady increase. The first year we were more in the 500 to 800 range, so we've
Wow, that's
had
great.
big jumps.
Yeah, good.
That's great. All right. Historical marker project is going along. I'm not, Al and Bob are kind of moving that forward. I'm going to be working with Ken to start some of the text and gathering some photos on that, but Ken's away, and he's also working on a book for 1820, so when I can get him, I will. And then sponsorships, I think that smaller committee has been meeting, and Sarah Woodbury and Lori Oram, we're going to put together or a letter, right? I was in and out of that meeting running. Babs's birthday party was like that day. Oh, and you were there too, Susan. So
Yeah, Sarah mentioned she was gonna get the letter together after 4th.
Yeah. So I think she's she's working on that, and also the postcards. So we'll follow up with her next time about that. And then the town website, that's coming along. It's being built up. Communications, as I said, the next big push is going to be getting the social media platforms. And Sarah had somebody to talk to see if they could come on board, but then hopefully maybe the library might be able to assist with that.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be great. And
And
then,
Maggie, you
Yeah.
know, in terms of communications, I talked to a lot of people and I mentioned this, and they're like, "Oh, really? I didn't know about that."
right,
And there are a lot of people who actually don't read the Darien Times.
right.
And I know all communications have to go through you. Do you have a press release with the logo that you could send to me? And
Oh,
I
sure.
can craft it, I can put it together and send it out just as a constant
Yeah.
contact announcement
Sure,
to the
so
chamber
we're-
members?
Right, so like it's kind of like this process that's been evolving. So we want to get the website up and running, and there was some. The logo has come out. It seems like it's taken a while, but we've been sort of working diligently to get it. We had to have certain language on the logo, associated with the logo, so that people knew that it was like for nonprofits and sponsors. And we're building the website, and I think we just need the website and the social media platforms in
Okay.
place. And but all of that, talking about communications, the Google Doc. There's a file that we're kind of sharing, and it has a lot of templates in there. And so it has our mission, it's got a press release template, and we'll be sending out, there's going to be, I think, the next major push. The last time we were in the paper or had a press release was for the logo, accepting the logo. And then now the next thing will be having the website in place and the social media platforms, and really at that point we're really going to go across
Okay.
different platforms. So, and that's coming soon. That's probably in a week or so.
You want to make sure that when you have your social media platforms and you announce that you have them, that you have someone in place to be adding new content with regularity, because you don't want to release it and then have it be
Right.
stale.
Yeah.
Right. I think that the social media part of this is going to be such a big job that we might
It's a big
have to
job.
consider paying a person like a freelancer or something like that to really, push, because it's gonna be,
I
it's
think
gonna be huge. I
You get
think.
what you pay for, and, you know, in this case, you might need, it would be
I
great,
think, yeah.
because, you know, a workshop that we have for the chamber, in terms of marketing yourself digitally,
Mhm.
it's regularity, consistency.
Right.
Difference, you know, an
Right.
interesting message.
Mhm.
It's,
Right.
the consistency is really
Absolutely.
important.
And we need somebody so that after we write our press releases and supply them with, who can just kind of run with it. So someone with a lot of experience and somebody who can commit to it. So I think we're gonna have to consider paying for
Yeah.
somebody, a freelancer. So we're looking into that. And then the Google Doc is kind of that shared. Did you guys try it with the, did you sign on? Was it?
I
with-
did, I'm on, I loaded up my documents on there.
Okay.
It's not easy I have to figure out for myself how to get it to come up to a screen where I can actually see it, because it's
okay.
about, you know, this tiny.
Right,
But,
okay.
yeah, it worked for
Does
me.
it work?
Has
Okay,
anybody else
awesome. So,
had to use it?
I don't know if we should.
Did you end up using
Okay.
the Google Doc that I sent you for?
Oh, the calendar, yeah, so there was a list,
Uh-huh.
a calendar, and then there's also a Google Calendar that has
Mhm.
the calendar that we were gonna start to build that as well. But, so that was a way of just kind of keeping us all on the
Mhm.
same page and having, you know, everything is there for like
Right.
the mission statement and the budgets and things like that, and updates. So
Minutes.
Keep it, minutes, all that stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
Okay, and then, general discussion. I guess the timelines, are what, I see the outputs here, I'm just seeing a need for project timelines and statements.
Mhm.
So just like an overall of each, like plan for each project, and then the timelines in terms of communications. So that all of us can work together, because I guess, and also development and communications and the projects. So the way that we're hoping to coordinate all that is for everybody to go on that Google Doc, and whatever you're kind of in charge with, have a timeline of what you usually do for like publicity, or what you might need for like 30 days out, that kind of thing, or and then we can all kind of coordinate around those
I
different
followed,
timelines.
I followed Al's on the Excel sheet.
Okay.
I just downloaded the sample Excel sheet he had.
Great.
I changed it to my, my project. It worked very easily.
Oh, great.
I mean, he already has it in with the summation
Okay,
of for the expenses.
right.
So,
Great.
yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. And is there, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Is there like a timeline in there too for the?
Yeah, there's a
oh, there is.
timeline.
Okay.
I kind
It's
of,
this.
I already had a timeline, so I sort of adapted mine to the project description and overall plan.
Okay.
That's pretty much,
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I guess we would need that for every event too, and as we get closer to, actually, as soon as possible, like the budgets and then the timelines, I think, are the most important aspects for everything, so. That's it, unless did you guys have any other discussion points? No? So we'll, next meeting, sorry, we weren't able to
Yeah.
formally vote you guys in, but we're meeting next in August. Let me just see. So the 14th, August 14th at 11 a.m. And hopefully we have a quorum that day. We'll be able to vote you guys in. And go over, and I'll make a report to Al, so he's aware of everything that we discussed.
and that's gonna be at 11?
Mhm.
Is it in here again?
I think
Or
it's in
will-
119 again,
Okay.
after this. But
Just watch them.
we'll confirm that.
Yeah, I'll have that in the minutes for the next meeting.
Okay, that sounds good. And if we get the design of the postcard, we'll share that.
Oh, good.
Or options, we'll share that as soon as we have it. So,
Yeah, I should, I'll have to revise that quote too, because it was only good till June 30th.
Okay, sure.
A quote for the mailing?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it won't
Thank you.
vary, you know, it won't differ by much, but it wasn't.
That sounds good. Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be paying by mailing, right?
So
Not
that's,